Hello ladies, today I'm gonna do a little turkey on this nail, and this nail was just a fast little design that I made. This one was using the acrylic. Let me show you. It was just using the Boogie Nights from Easy Flow, and this one's Cocktail Time. So that's this one right here, and it's a very pretty color. I don't know if you can really tell, but it's a very pretty fall goldish color. It has the chameleon colors on there, and all I'm gonna do is do a little fall design like a turkey, just to give you guys an idea of how to make a 3D turkey. I haven't been working really on my 3D. I mean, those who have been in my channel have seen I do the 3D, but you know, it's like a more of a work of art. So if you guys haven't done so, for all my new subbies, I invite you guys to go check out my channel. And I have a frog and an ocean theme and La Loopsy and a bunch of other different ones that I have made in the past, including a shark. So, I mean, again, if you guys haven't seen it, definitely go check out my channel. So let's get started. I will be using, this is the number 5. Okay, so it's super fine. And I'm using this brown, and this is going to be the back side of it. Okay, so this is CM Nail Supplies. I know right now she's not online, and she's not selling, but I guess at the beginning of next year she will. So what I did was I got a little pearl, and I just wait for the liquid to suction in. Now this is, I'm in an awkward position right now because my nail is actually slanted, just so that I can show you guys better. But basically all you're doing is forming the back side of the turkey. So it's depending how you're gonna want. Either you want an oval teardrop shape, circled shape, and I'm gonna try and go for like a semi teardrop type of shape, simply because the tail, you know, kind of stands up in the back. So that's kind of what I'm going for. And like I said, I apologize. I know it's not centered or anything like that, but it's just that I'm actually working sideways. So it's in an awkward position. But all I'm doing is working that. Like I said, it's up to you guys. However you guys decide to make this bottom shape. And I would suggest that if you guys are doing 3D after you have done your design, I would suggest that you guys put the gel on top, simply because it's going to help you slide the 3D acrylic easier. So in case you make a mistake, that you can easily wipe it off without any problems. As opposed to if it were matte, then you would have more difficulty of getting off. It would leave a stain on your nail, and you would have to probably file it down and stuff. So anyhow, so now you kind of let it dry just a tiny bit, just so that you know you can continue on. So the next thing that I'll be using are the organic colors. Sorry for the noise. I have my son outside and I'm in my work area, so he tends to follow me around. So let me see, and I will show you the colors in a minute. Let me get them all together here. And this is the Organic Gamma collection, I think it's called. And of course, if you don't have it, then obviously use whatever you have. And I'm using the Neon Lime, the Royal Pink, the Mandarin, and Ochre. So this is more like a fall colors. And all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go around the back that I just did and make feather like. You don't have to get really technical about this, but I mean, you know, whatever, it's just up to you. You know, I always say it's really up to your imagination. You know, I try to follow how to make those flowers in 3D, and it's just really hard for me. But once I do it like on my own freestyle with my hand, I can do pretty much anything in 3D as long as I'm doing it like just freehand. So whatever you can do, then go for it. So I'm gonna start with the green, and again I'm getting a pearl, I'm letting it level, and I'm gonna start on this side right here. It doesn't really matter what side you start on, and I cleaned out my brush to help it work better, and all I'm doing is shaping it into a feather. So I probably got a lot of it, but it's alright. Okay, so that's all you're doing is shaping. And right here you can do pretty much whatever pattern you want as far as the design of the feather. So if you would want it to look more like a petal, then you can do that. If you want it to look more like, I don't know, something like a little design or whatever, that's really up to you. I'm just doing a general type of thing. So all I'm gonna do is, once the acrylic has actually started to set, then I start to just mold it in here. Okay, so I can flatten it a little at the bottom so it'll start widening, and then just like that. And then you can even use your cuticle pusher to kind of make the feather indentations like that. But I mean, if you work on it like I am, like right when it's like putty, so to speak, then you should be able to do it with your brush very easily. So that's the way I did the feather. And then I'm going to change it to the other color. I'm going to do the royal pink. And the same thing goes for that one. I wait for it to get, and then place it on here, clean out my brush and dry it out. And I'm going to do this with all the colors just to go all the way around. So I will do that, and then I'll be right back when I'm done. Alright ladies, so what I did is I did the back feathers for the tail, as you can see, using the colors that I had already showed you. And I just did the center one just so that it's between there, and it's really up to you. Like I said, this is make it your own. I mean, whatever you want to do, fill it up, don't fill it up, put it all the way around, doesn't matter, it's up to you. But now we're going to do which would be the head, and I'm going to be using this color right here, blonde or brown, okay, something like that. So it's a lighter brown, and the reason I get a lighter brown is because I want the back to stand out as well as the front. So if we have two of the same color, you might kind of lose the whatchamacallit, the whole detail. So all I did was get a a pearl, sorry, blanked out a little minute ago, and you're gonna leave it, okay? As soon as you start seeing it that it's leveling, then you can smash it a bit. I wouldn't do it too much, simply because you don't want it to over expand from the back. So this is just the head, so I don't think, like I said, it could be up to you really, but that's the way I want to leave it. So it's just the bottom part, so it's kind of gonna be like 3D, you go on layers, right? And this is just the way I want to leave this turkey, okay? So I'm gonna let that dry, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get my white acrylic, and just any flat white that you may have, and I'm gonna do the eyes for this turkey, and I'm gonna make kind of like a crazy turkey, like different cartoony type, simply because I like it more. Like I said, if you guys prefer, then you guys can go ahead and make a more traditional turkey, however you guys may like. But that's just the way I'm gonna do it. So all I'm gonna do is grab a pearl of white, and it's a tiny little bit. Now I'm hoping it's not that dry, so I'm hoping that it doesn't get mixed. If it does, then you know, we'll see how I can correct it. But all I'm doing is placing right there, and it is leveling, so the same as the head, I'm gonna let it level and then I can smash it. So meanwhile that's doing that, I'm gonna get another pearl, and you can either get it bigger, smaller, it doesn't matter. I'm gonna give it some weird looking eyes to kind of overtake the front. So while that's leveling, now I can smash this one, which is like very gently just feathering it. Okay. And then I'm gonna clean off my brush so that no liquid, you know, keeps dabbing into this acrylic. The drier you have it, the easier it'll be to handle this. Okay, so now we can squash this one and make it into a bigger looking eye. Okay, so you kind of just do that, and then you're gonna get your color black for the pupils or whatever color. Give me a quick second, I forgot to grab it. So whatever colored eyes you want it to have. Okay, so usually I use a matte black, but I have to go through, I have so many acrylics that I have to go through. So I'm just gonna get this black that I have, and like I said, it's up to you, and I'm just getting like a super tiny bit, like super tiny, okay? And you're just placing it in the center like that. That's all you're doing. For the next eye, you're gonna get even less. So it's like super a little bit. So the smaller you do the eye, the smaller pearl you want to get. And I'm just gonna leave it there like that. Okay. And you can press this black already a little. Don't overexpand it, because then it's gonna take over all the white, unless that's what you want it to do. You can also like do the white, then the black, then do white again and black, make it into layers, and it'll give it a more 3D effect if that's what you want. Okay, so I'm gonna leave it like that, and then I'll squash the little one right now. And you kind of want to keep them circular. You can do like let's say if you want to do them winking, or you want them doing different types, you just get a tiny bit like I did on this one, and then just make the line this way or that, closed it or whatever. Or you can also just draw on it with like a liner brush or something, a dotting tool, whatever. The next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to be doing the legs. And for that, I'm going to be using my orange from Organic Colors. I'm trying to go as fast so you guys don't have to hear me blabber. But I'm going to be doing the feet. So you get a small bead as well. And you're going to put it under right here. So just place it there. And you're going to do the same, the other one. Another small bead. And press it under. And the same, we're just going to let it self-level. I know it's kind of difficult trying to keep the same type of bead going, but I mean, practice makes perfect, so I'm sure you guys can do this. And all I'm doing is splitting the pearl, or pushing in the middle part like that, just so it'll make like two little toes. Just like that. So it's just something simple, easier. If you want them to have the legs sticking out, then I would suggest to make a bead and then make the legs longer like a stick, and then maybe draw these little feet at the bottom of like the stick. So I'm just gonna leave that really quick like that, and then I'm gonna do the beak. But before that, the turkeys have the that thing dangling in their beak, which I'm gonna do before that. So just get a small red, like a small amount, a bead like that big, and we're gonna do the same thing. So we're gonna put it there, and we're just gonna create a teardrop. Okay, so pull, and you might need to get more, but I would just do it little bit at a time. You know, keep pulling and then keep adding a little bit at a time, because you don't want a big blob like going on there. See, like I probably have enough with this. See, so all I did was form that. Okay, and we're gonna let that dry. It shouldn't take that long because it's just a tiny bit, and I'm gonna be using the color ochre to make the beak. And this one is very simple, so it's just, we're just gonna do a tiny little oval shape in the center and cut it in half. That's it. So this is it right there. Let's see if you can see. My camera won't focus. And we're putting it right like here. Okay, and remember, you're gonna let it level. Almost all the time when you're doing 3D, you kind of let it level so you can work better with it. Otherwise, if you work with it liquidy, then it will be all over the place and it'll be a mess. So you don't want that. And then after that, we can kind of pat it, like feather it just to the sides to make it oval. And you can create the bottom side to be smaller than the top. So you're just cutting like that. And make sure your brush is very pointy at this point, because you want it to get into the fine details. If it's not, then you're just gonna squash everything. Okay, all right, so then that's the little thing right there. And if you need to, if you want to make the little red at the top for it, you can just grab a tiny the tiniest amount that you can, and then, oh, that has something, hold on, and then just pin it right on top like that and fix it just to look pretty. Okay, and there you go. That is your crazy funky turkey. Easy, fast. Well, not that fast because it took me forever trying to explain it, but you can go into more detail on this. So as soon as I'm done with this nail, I'll show you the end result. But thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. If you have any questions, comments, let me know down below, and I'll try to answer as quick and as you know, reliable as possible. Okay, thank you guys. Bye bye.